Welcome to another one of our parents. Today we're fortunate to be joined with Kelly Adonis from the Multi-Employment Programme. So I'm actually going to hand over to Kelly, who's going to run through what her programme entails.
Thank you, Chris. So I'm the service leader of the Uniting Pathways to Employment Programme, which is also known as the School Leaver Employment Support Programme. So I'm going to be going through our program presentation. There's a few photos on there that I'll be explaining a little bit about some of our participant journeys. But definitely after you finish watching the presentation, please feel free to reach out and we can even organise some individual one-on-one sessions with you. So in 2017, we won the award for Best Employment Outcomes for all the outcomes of employment supports that we provided for our participants. We're a small team, so we have 5 to 6 employment coaches that support our participants directly, both in training and also in the workplace. So the program, it's a program that supports young adults to become job ready. We run from a course of 12 to 24 months if participants require further support. The program is an initiative from NDIS, so the program is fully funded by NDIS under the Finding and Keeping a Job and core supports. And if you have any questions about that, you can feel free to reach out to us. So we're located across 8 different sites across Victoria, including Hoppers Crossing, Footscray, Broadmeadows, Melton, Cranbourne, Heidelberg, Sunbury and Pakenham. Definitely for students participating at Jackson School, our general site and most accessible site has been Footscray. Our goal as a program is really to help participants to find their first part-time job. So that's our main goal in our support. And obviously as well, finding suitable and realistic job opportunities is also our main goal in our support. So in this slide, it covers a little bit about us as a program. So our main style of the way that we support participants is very individualized. We start the program first by setting an action plan, and within this action plan, participants have the opportunity to share with us some pre-employment goals that they have, and we work together to find how we can support to achieve these goals. Something new that's developed in the program has been our quarterly reviews and our quarterly feedback sessions as well. Families generally join in on those sessions. So it's really a collaboration in supporting the young person. As you can see here as well, we've also got our Certificate 1 in Transition to Work and also a Certificate 1 in Work Education. Together with the certificates that are delivered by Catalyst Training and our complimentary day, we really are able to help develop the pre-employment skills of the young people that want to potentially in the very near future obtain work. We have links and support with vocational training. We do extensive group and individual work placements. And later on in the slide as well, you'll see quite a few examples of where people have done placements and the supports that we've provided. Work-specific industry visits and community excursions. So this is a big one as well, with helping a lot of participants that we support that are unaware about what they want to do in their life or what sort of career pathway they want to go down. skill development and confidence building, encouraging independence, individualized case management, mentoring and ongoing support, and also referral and links to relevant services such as disability employment services. And we are also a disability employment service, so we have a lot of strong ties with our Uniting Employment Services and work together to help not only support someone to obtain a job, but also that ongoing support as well when they obtain work. So in this slide, you'll see just a little bit about our course outline and our program outline, sorry. So with Catalyst Training, they deliver training 2 days a week. And with our employment coaches, 1 day of facilitated vocational training and support is provided. So realistically, from the beginning of the year, participants will participate 3 days a week. And then later on, after term 2, participants will be occupied between 4 to 5 days, especially because when term 2 commences, that's when we support a lot of participants to explore work experience and volunteering options. And we provide support within those 2 options as well. So just some activities that are delivered in the vocational training days. We believe it's really important for participants to have everything they need really to get a job, which includes 100 points worth of ID. As you can see here, we support participants with obtaining either a proof of age card. Later in the slide, you'll see as well, we have a lot of extensive support with participants that want to obtain their learner's permit. So that also is a form of ID. Tax file number as well. And even we include some sessions as well with supporting participants to vote. So even supporting them to register on the electoral roll. Funding and support, as mentioned earlier, we're completely funded by NDIS, and we also support participants as well and families if they require further support with their MyGov account and also with Centrelink. Communications in the program. This is just a small example here of the information pack that we provide participants when they commence in the program. We'd like to make the transition as easy as possible. So definitely not having to worry about pens, books, and a diary is something that we all organise for participants in their transition. This year as well, we've launched our Facebook group page, which has been a great way for families and the program to really share what's going on day to day in the program, and for families to engage and ask questions in a more accessible way. We also have a quarterly newsletter that's provided to schools, to families and businesses that we liaise with. And it's just another way for the program to share what's going on day to day and our supports, including our success stories as well. Money handling and transport support. In this picture, you'll see a retail register. We have one of these registers for each of our sites. This really supports us to support participants to develop the skill of money handling. Not only do participants get the chance to practice this skill in-house in a training sort of environment, but also in a work-based environment as well. We host Bunnings barbecues. Currently, we also are hosting Woolworths barbecues and Officeworks barbecues. Our training partner Catalyst, later on in the slide you'll see, has a toasty van, and our participants are supported to get a bit of a taste of working on a tasty van and again, develop those skills of money handling and liaising with customers. Travel training support is a big part of the program as well. And this just pretty much means our staff can support participants that come on board that want to further develop their independence with travelling on transport. Sometimes this means a participant needs support to travel from home to a training site of one of our locations, or it could be some support with travelling to a work experience placement and going back home. So all of that support is provided by the program, and that support is flexible and tailored to the participants' needs. Here you can see some of our previous participants in the program, Cassie and Jared. So another part of the program is supporting our participants to really dress for success and develop that confidence within themselves to look the part for work. So we partner up with Wear for Success and support participants to have a session with them to really be fitted for work. It's an exciting part of the program, and yeah, a lot of participants sometimes don't have the opportunity to have access to such attire. So it's a free part of the service that we provide, and yeah, participants get a chance to walk away with some clothing items that are quite professional to utilise in an interview or even in a job that we support them to find. Interview practice and resumes. So definitely this is a big part of the program as well, because as you know, most jobs require you to do an interview. So we do support participants to practice this skill quite a bit, especially to alleviate those anxieties that they might have when participating in interviews, and also resume practice as well, alongside cover letters. So this is a big part of the program as well. In these pictures, you can see there was an event that we supported participants to be involved with in the Broadmeadow Shopping Centre. So here you can see participants meeting with business owners of the centre and really practicing that skill. Driver's education. So a lot of participants over the years have come to us and asked us for support with helping them to obtain their learner's permit. So with that being said, we developed a driver's education module and also some partnerships with Vic Roads to support participants to have different options of doing their tests and different options of support that they can help them to achieve and pass their learner's test. So definitely the benefits of this has been participants to further gain independence. It definitely opens up more opportunities in terms of employment. We've had some participants in the past as a first part-time job do delivery driving as well. So definitely having their license is a big help. It supports participants as well with developing their road awareness and safety as a pedestrian and also a passenger. So regardless if a participant wants to actually go that next step and get their L's or try to get their L's, it's also great for them as a pedestrian and a passenger. And more importantly, it's also a form of ID. Here you can see some examples of some industry visits that we organise and we support participants to access. A lot of our industry visits are driven by our participants. And when I say that, really, when we start working with a participant, we really like to hear what industries they want to learn more about. So generally, when we hear different industries and ideas that they have, we would organise placements and industry visits steered to what they would like to explore. And this is just a few that we've been able to access. I mentioned earlier a little bit about the gourmet toasty van. So These are just some pictures of participants doing or hosting an event. We've also got a picture here of participants supporting customers at Bunnings Barbecue Sausage Sizzle. So these are just other ways that we like to support participants to really develop those practical skills of money handling, customer service, and food handlers as well. Just last year, we supported participants and we've really integrated into the program, supporting participants on obtaining their food handler certificate and also their barista certificate. Group excursions. So generally similar to the industry visits as well, a lot of our outings are steered by our participant suggestions. As you can see here, these are some examples. So participants have chosen in this group to go to the Victoria Market. Grand Prix, this is something that we do generally if a particular group and participants want to access to go to the Grand Prix. The city is a really big one. A lot of participants over the years want support to gain independence in going to the city. So a little bit more information about our individual work placements. So as a program, we've really tried to develop a lot of resources and information to support employers, participants and their families with the process of a work placement. Now, I guess a little bit differently compared to other services, we really are a one-stop shop in regards to placements and training and support. So because we're also working in conjunction with a training company delivering the Certificate 1 in Transition to Work and the Work Education Certificate, us being a specialist disability service provider in vocational employment, and also our Uniting Employment Service, we really have the opportunities to utilise all of our strengths as services to support young people to find meaningful work. These are just some examples of where people have had the chance to do a work experience placement. Now, some of these placements later on in the presentation you'll see have turned into employment outcomes as well. Definitely a lot of different options available. Now, just a little bit on transitions from the program. So with the program, the participants usually are supported to explore part-time work from their work experience options. So this is a process that we completely work side by side with the participant with. With the connection as well with employment services, usually we put this process in place in the last 6 months of the program. Now this really gives the participant the best of both the services and really increases their chances of obtaining work and also having that ongoing support even when a job placement is sourced. I'll just be going through some employment outcomes now and just sharing a little bit about each individual's story. So Mohammed here that you can see got a job at Top Tech Panels. Mohammed was part of our Broadmeadows group. Now Mohammed came onto the program quite shy and reserved, but a very helpful young man as well. He commenced a placement at Top Tech Panels due to his desire to want to work around cars. And within a few months of his placement, we commenced the negotiating phase of discussing employment opportunities with the employer. Unfortunately, the employer at the time didn't have the capacity to take Mohammed on board as a paid staff member. But Mohammed actually said that because he was enjoying the placement so much, he wanted to at least continue until the end of the year and complete his placement. And yeah, really try to gain any more skills that he can from that placement. A few weeks later, we surprisingly got a phone call from the employer, and I guess they had really thought about it and really respected the fact that Mohammed wanted to continue volunteering and giving his time to that workplace and supporting them. And they were able to then employ him. So definitely Mohammed's story does share a lot about someone's dedication, and even when you are confronted with rejection, definitely to keep going and to keep putting your best foot forward. So Mohammed is still working there today. Jamal, as you can see here in his McDonald's uniform, was employed by Macca's after a work experience trial in their dining room. Iwa, as you can see here, it was connected with the Rubble Farm. So the Rubble Farm is part of the Werribee Mansion, and his placement was really sought out because coincidentally the manager that runs that service speaks the same language as Iwa, and Iwa's English was quite limited when he came to the program. So that connection with an employer that can speak a language that Iwa is quite confident in speaking really helped to set that partnership. Jason here at Hog's Breath. Now Jason obtaining his opportunity at Hog's Breath was quite a unique story as well. We were out celebrating Jason and some of the other participants in the Melton group to obtain their learner's permit. So a few of them got their learner's permit, and we went out for lunch to celebrate. And the manager at the time of the Hog's Breath in Melton actually came to our table and started to ask where we're from and wanting to know a little bit about the participants. And Jason shared a little bit about his goals and what the program that he's participating is in, and then started a conversation with a work experience placement. So just by going out to lunch and celebrating learner's permit, we were able to support Jason to source another placement, which then turned out to be employment as well for him. Nada working at Airmax Heating and Cooling, Tar at DiCaprio's, Andrea at Muffin Break, Olivia at La Porchetta, Tarek and Nick at Coles. I'll share a little bit about Tarek and Nick actually, because similar to a lot of the examples that you will see in this slide, Tarek actually used his own networking skills to support Nick to get a job. So in the tea room, Tarek heard his employers and other supervisors speaking about doing a new recruitment run, and Tarek spoke up and explained that the program that has supported him, there are a few other people that are still looking for employment, and really put in a good word for Nick, and that supported Nick to get a job. Got Matthew here, who has recently also moved to our own head office at Uniting. So Matthew's example is really showcasing how as a service we've supported him to find one job, but then when that job isn't something that he wants to do anymore, we've also supported him to find other options. Got Christopher at Australia Post and Nick again in Coles. Anthony and Brittany. I'll share a little bit actually about Anthony. Anthony, when he came to the program, hadn't spoken for quite some time of his life. So within the program, his main goal was to find his voice and his confidence. He tried a few different placements in the program. but definitely towards the end of the program for him, he started to really engage a little bit more, talk up a little bit more, and an opportunity was tested out at Western Water. And yeah, he's still working there today. So definitely, you know, with Anthony's story, the support that he was provided to feel confident to speak up a little bit more, and really showcase his personality and his work ethic helped him to get him a job. So this is just a little bit of information now in regards to our transitions from the program. Now, at the end of the program, we actually have a graduation ceremony. So that's a time really for participants to celebrate the hard work and for families to celebrate with them alongside staff. Transitions to DES as well is another option. Now, you've probably heard me mention as well the connections with our disability employment services and that ongoing support. So definitely if a participant was successful enough in finding a job through their work experience placement, we would still connect them with employment services for that ongoing support. But say if a work experience placement didn't work out to turn into employment, that next step with connecting with an employment service really does support them to obtain that job, especially when they've developed the confidence and the skill set to explore working options. Extension is another thing that we can also do to support a participant to further enhance their skills. So with NDIS, generally they will explore supports if a person requires for up to 3 years. Further study and other programs. So some of our participants, whilst they complete the program, they also sometimes identify that further study is a goal that they want to explore. So we support a person to connect with those options and support them to find suitable and realistic study options for them to participate in. We've got a little bit of information here as well about an example of supported employment as well. So definitely speaking for some of our participants that partake in the program, open employment is not a realistic goal for them, and it might be a little bit challenging. So as part of our process with supporting someone to find a job, that sometimes might mean that that person may have some support to transition to supported employment. That's it from me. Thank you for listening. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me and we can arrange an individual virtual information session. But definitely when the COVID-19 phase has phased out and restrictions start to lift, I would love to also meet you at the school. Thank you.